recording now?
Yeah, we're rolling.
Awesome. Did the show start? Did the show start?
Did the show start?
Did the show start?
I think the show started, D.
All right.
Yeah.
Welcome to Light Roast, Taylor.
Thank you. Welcome to Light Roast, D.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome to the show in which we talk about games that we haven't fully played.
We haven't completed yet.
We haven't completed yet.
Linear games, story-driven narratives that require a full playthrough. Instead, we're just going to do not that.
Just not that, and just talk
about it anyway.
Yeah.
Because, you know what? It's our show, damn it.
It's our show, and it's called Light Roast.
And it's called Light Roast.
Because coffee.
What kind of coffee you got?
Oh, man. Okay, so this is pretty different for me.
Okay, cool.
This is a caramel latte, ice latte, ice caramel latte.
Because you're usually a black.
I'm a black man.
You're usually a black man.
I'm usually a black man. Yeah.
So I have a iced caramel latte.
Wow.
2.
Wait a second. That sounds similar.
You copied me.
I did, yeah.
It was my idea.
It was, yeah.
And I was afraid to order it.
I drink almost all of this, and it's very sweet.
Yeah.
And I'm not used to it.
You're not used to that sweet kind of thing.
No, and I'm jittery.
Yeah.
We're talking about Soma.
Boom, Soma.
So this is a game that both of us wanted to play for a long time.
Yeah, I bought this game on Steam probably 2 years ago, and this is the first time I've played it.
First time.
Yeah.
It's one of those dusty old games.
Yeah, one of those games is I want to play that game.
Yeah.
But I don't really intend on playing it anytime soon.
That's Psychonauts for me.
Psychonauts, is that for you? Yeah. Oh, maybe we'll have to
do it.
A Psychonauts episode.
Yeah, I've had that game forever.
That's a pretty fun game, actually.
So I've heard. That's why I have it.
Yeah. Anyway, Soma is a horror video game created by the same people who did Amnesia: The Dark Descent.
Yes. Yeah, you told me that they were the same creators.
Yeah.
Had no idea. Amnesia is pretty cool. I haven't played it, but from what I've seen people play and from the other gameplay things that I've seen, it looks pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. I've watched a bunch of gameplay of it because it was so huge on YouTube for so long.
Right.
And I own the game. I've played a little bit of it, and it is really cool. This game feels like it because they have the same mechanics, like first person.
Right.
You have no way to defend yourself. It's more or less stealth based, and you interact with the environment in that particular way where you use the mouse to actually control speed.
I love that so much. Where you're like, this is a door, and you're opening and closing the door that way.
Yeah, which is really cool. Which we can probably show you here in a minute here. First, before we get into gameplay, though,
yes,
I want to know what you think of this game so far.
It's hard to explain what I think about it. I enjoy playing the game. It's not what I was expecting. When we first talked about it, I thought it was a straight horror game, and it doesn't really feel like a horror when I'm playing it. So much so that when the horror elements are in there, it feels incongruous with the rest of the game. So I feel like it's like, okay, oh wait, now it's the horror section. I'm like, can I just go to the rest of the story? I just keep wanting to do the story, and okay, I guess I gotta hide from this guy, and oh, spooky. I feel like that a lot. The atmosphere is thick, and I really, really like the atmosphere, and I really think this game is way better than a lot of other games that we've played or talked about. BioShock being one of them that comes to mind.
You say it's better than BioShock?
I like it better than BioShock. Yeah. I won't say it's better, but yeah, I like it better.
Yeah.
Only because I like these kinds of indie
stuff, and you have a affinity for the AI.
Yeah, and just that too.
Kind of things.
Yeah.
Story-wise. So
that's what
that makes sense. That's makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Tell me what you thought.
For me, I think this game is really cool. I like it. Kinda. I kind of like it. So I think we have very different experience playing this game because horror video games scare me.
Oh.
Always.
Oh.
Even if they're awful.
Interesting.
Even if they're poorly designed, even if I can clearly see the generic tropes,
it still works on you?
Always scare me.
That's hilarious.
And awesome. Yeah, it always scares me to my core, too. Nice. I've always struggled playing horror games.
Yeah, so it's like Death Stranding for me.
Yeah.
Death Stranding was terrifying for me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It is kind of like that. And so, I can see that I've had this weird experience where, I keep getting scared in this game, it's terrifying and stuff, but I also kind of see that it's kind of dumb. Some of the horror is just kind of I like it's not that scary when it's just like a big jump scare and it gets me every time.
Yeah.
And then I creep, and then I take it to like an extreme where like I'll be creeping through the environment super slow, and I'll be like transfixed on like the ambient sounds, thinking there's something out there to get me, even though it's just ambient sound.
Yeah.
And so I'll spend 30 minutes slowly walking through an environment that's like has nothing to scary in it.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Just because I'm afraid around the corner something's gonna happen.
Right.
Yeah.
I totally felt that like vibe. Like totally felt that's what they were going for here, was to make people do that. Right. Was to slowly creep, because there's a lot of jump scares in here that are not meant to be played. You know, they're just meant to be experienced. Just at that moment, like Fear. If you've ever played Fear.
I've seen Fear. Yeah.
Yeah. There's moments in that game where it's like a mini cutscene that happens in front of you, just to scare you, and that's it. And there's parts like that in this game where you're like going through a dark hallway and then something comes out of the ceiling, but you didn't see what it was, but it made a loud noise, and you're just like, oh, okay, scary, but it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't do anything. One, it doesn't mean anything for the story. Two, you can't follow whatever it was that creeped.
It's not consequential to gameplay at all. It doesn't hurt you. It doesn't affect what you do in the game.
Exactly.
It's literally just a...
Yeah, it's literally a jump scare. Yeah. So,
and I hate that.
Yeah. So those... and there's not a bunch of them, which is cool. But the first time
there's one, actually, will probably come up here on one pretty soon.
The first time that happened to me, I think it was literally that example, was when I was walking through a corridor and something came through the ceiling. It was that moment that I just figured, oh, it's this kind of game, and I stopped caring about the scares at that point. From that point on, I kind of saw the game through a different lens. It was like now I'm seeing the scares, and I'm just going to just forget about them, and I'm not going to play the game for the horror elements anymore. And it was weird. It really took me out, just removed me from the entire game, because now what I'm doing is I'm playing the game for the story and the interesting like mixes between things and stuff. And it's so funny, because now when I come to the horror elements, now they feel like it's not supposed to be here. Like I'm like
out of place.
Yeah, it's out of place now. There was a part in that part just before you left. So you just came from, or you went to a place and you just ordered a submarine to come, right?
Yeah, basically where I'm at in the game right now is, if I can show you real quick. I am about to head out into the vast unknown sea and go over to a submarine craft.
That station and order another one?
Yeah, and order another one, and then go out somewhere else.
Yeah, with the radio signals and all that. So when over there, when you do that, there's like various buildings that you can go into, like little abandoned places, and one of them has eyeballs on the ground. Have you seen it? Did you see that one? So there's two eyeballs laying on the ground in this one like little laboratory looking area, and there's blood all over the place, and there's like creepy messages written on the walls and stuff, and it was so funny, because I was like looking at the game, through like a different lens, to where I go into that building and I'm like, huh, and I picked up the eyeball. I'm like, that's weird. like it's not supposed to be here. And I wonder why eyeballs are here. And it's apparently someone who went out of their mind and something. And it's so strange to, like I really like the idea that AI is intermixed with horror. I think that's a really cool thing to do in here. But it's so weird that it's even gotten to the point to where I see them as two separate pieces, and I don't know why that is. I don't know if it's obviously just me, because it's...
Well, what's funny is I have the inverse, where the story takes me out of it.
Yeah, it's so it's the atmosphere that takes you in then.
Yeah, and it's the atmosphere and the scares that I want to get more into. And the story is like, the voice acting is kind of shoddy.
Actually, the voice acting I thought was pretty good. I think it was pretty good for this game. Like there were parts where I'm like, that sounded like you messed up a line there.
Yeah.
But it felt like they were doing good acting. Is what it felt like. It felt like
maybe it's the
as opposed to
writing,
Half-Life,
then.
For example.
Yeah. Maybe it's the writing that I have an issue with.
The writing's pretty terrible.
And not necessarily the themes or like the concepts, but cool, literally just like, it's pretty surface level. Very direct, very surface level. And I think that takes me out, because the horror and the atmosphere
It's
is
so much
more.
you feel it more.
Yeah, it's more complex, I
Yeah.
think, in a way,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
inherently, because it's a vibe, it's an atmosphere, it's
Yeah.
just an emotion that you feel,
Yeah.
and you deal with it yourself.
Yeah.
And then when you go and you just get told these story beats, like I like a lot of the ideas they're playing with,
Yeah.
but just the overall kind of exposition, it's all just kind of laid out, and you even get your little AI companion who
Yeah.
tells you what to do.
I'll be honest with you. I think what was going on with mine, because I have a comment about the horror that you feel in here, right? That where the story gets in the way. But I think the reason why I started separating those two was because the horror gets too intense at one point. And I think that's what happened in that corridor for me, is that I was just like, okay, if I play this game like for the horror, like the way that all these scares are happening, it's too intense, and I don't like that. It doesn't feel good to play. So I'm just gonna ignore it and choose to ignore it, and it's probably what happened.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's interesting. I
Because
don't have the ability to ignore it.
yeah, it's interesting. I wonder. I don't know when that happened, when I was able to start doing that. But like Death Stranding, I can't do that.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, Death Stranding, I'm in the game, and I like, no matter how many times I go up to those
BTs.
to the BTs, I know what's gonna happen. But every single time, I'm just like, as soon as the screen shakes and you see the things, I'm like, oh, fuck. Like, it's so nerve wracking to me, all of it. And I think what it is that this game, I'm able to pull myself out because I've played Fear so much, and Fear feels very similar to this game, where it's a first-person horror, and you're kind of going from set piece to set piece, and just experiencing more horror moments. And there was one that it got on my nerves. Like, you're not at it yet, but it's just after. I believe it's just after the part that you're in, where you have to. There's a data center somewhere, and you have to go through the data center, and what do you call it? This is really cool, actually. There's two of these things that happen. So one of them is you go through this data center, and of course there's no lights working, obviously, and because it's a horror game, and there's a monster in there, and you can't really tell what it is because it has legs, but you're looking for a person. So as soon as you get into that room and you see that thing, you're thinking, oh, that must be the person, until your goggles start doing the shifty thing, and you're like, oh, that's not a person. So you start hiding from it, and it makes a different sound than all the other monsters make. It has this eerie screeching, like yelling sound, and it moves really slow, but it chases after you if it knows where you are. So the idea is to work your way around these server towers, right? That's the only light in here. These little dots of light that are coming off the server towers. Get away from this thing that doesn't know where you are. Try not to make any sound, and there's objects placed in between each of the towers to trick you, to let you trip on an object so that it knows where you are. So you have to be very, very careful about that whole thing. And this all feels very Fear-like to me. And you go over to your thing, and you have to put in a command or something, and then it makes a loud sound, so you have to go hide. Then you have to come back when it's gone, do another operation before it shuts down. It's like, this trade-off, it really took me out, because I'm like, I feel what the designer is doing. And I'm like, we really want to scare you now, and I'm just like, I know what you're doing though, and but that contrasted with something else that was, I think, magnificent, was a quote boss battle. And do you mind if I spoil these things for it? Okay. And it's not really a boss battle, but I can't think of what else to call it. There's a part where you go, where you climb up a tower, or you're climbing up this thing, and you're trying to find. You may have already done it, actually. Where you rip the cords out of the wall. No, okay. So you get to this part where you've climbed up a tower several times, and you get to an area where all the power is being sucked off by these tentacles, and so you rip off a tentacle, and as soon as that happens, very loud noises happen, and you're just like, oh, that must be that thing that was following me before is now here. So I'm like, okay, so you got to keep ripping open the cords, knowing that it's going to give you something terrifying to look at. So you keep doing that, and then it gets to a cutscene where you see the thing that's behind you now. It's now following you, and it sets up a very, very linear run, kind of like Call of Duty, the end of the first scene in Call of Duty. When you run off the boat, it's like that. except you're running away from this thing that's chasing you and screaming at the same time. So it's like, "Rah!" You're like, oh my god. And it turns everywhere in the building turns red because it's an emergency. So you get that kind of feeling that you have from PT, you know, when you're walking forward and you got this camera shake going on.
Yeah.
So there's artificial camera shake, and then there's a ton of red light everywhere, and you can't really see where you're going. And all of that is gameplay centric, right?
Yeah.
It's things that are affecting your here and now. It's not just a set piece that I mean, it is a set piece, but it's one that you have to play through, that you have to engage with, and it's on rails, but you have to beat it in order to get out of it. You know, so although the repetition is kind of annoying, that kind of just very, very engaging feel right there is the horror that I love. All the other ones felt really cheap.
I point to Resident Evil 7 as a game that does horror really, really well for a video game.
Yeah.
I think. And as somebody who is super, like, horror really affects me in video games, like, I played that game to completion.
Yeah.
And
I've never played 7.
it's really good. It takes the whole point was to actually go back to the roots of Resident Evil and try and make a game that's survival horror puzzle driven game.
Interesting.
And it also took a note from PT. It was influenced by PT.
Nice.
So you're in a mansion, and there are these characters that are basically terrifying people, family, and that's their house, it's their mansion, and they're like quasi pseudo zombies, but they're like intelligent, they're like human beings still.
Okay.
And they're out to get you, and you don't ever know where they are, and you're going through the house, and they're always on the prowl.
Yeah.
And you just don't know.
Yeah.
And it's so well executed.
Yeah, that's good.
And so this game does that a little bit, and also Outlast, the games where it's
Outlast,
like horror games where you can't defend yourself and you must hide when enemies are around. I think that's a cool way to do horror.
It is a cool way. It got in the way for me here. I think because it was so obvious at points.
That's what I agree with that.
Yeah.
And that's why I felt strange playing this game, because I'd get scared and then I'd be like, that's dumb.
Yeah. So like Amnesia, for example, has I know it's all about hiding, right? Be careful with your cord in your mic.
Yeah.
I can get all fucked up sometimes. Yeah. So in Amnesia, I mean, I haven't played. I played like the tiniest bit of Amnesia.
Yeah, me too.
But I saw what the mechanic is to kind of like Outlast, where you have I think, right? Am I saying that?
Outlast, you have like a camcorder, and
yeah,
that's the whole perspective.
So, but the whole idea is that there's a monster here, and I need to get away from it and hide somewhere else before it gets me, and then just keep going after that.
Yeah.
So like when that's the point of the game, that's awesome. But
Exactly.
when you have like this extra stuff going on, there's a selective thing there.
Totally, and that's what we keep getting at with the story, the story versus the horror of this game.
Ludo narrative dissonance.
Ludo narrative dissonance. A little bit. I don't know. Like, that's kind of a hard thing to say though for this game, because sorry, I'm turning mine down a little bit, because like the story has room for horror. So it's
the
not
story
really,
has room for horror. Oh yeah, no,
like
definitely.
It's not dissonant in that sense, right?
You know, it's interesting because it could be. You're talking about because the environment.
Yeah, well, the story itself and the context of the story, the idea that
that
you're in an AI
brain.
body and you're uploaded and the humanity's
Yeah.
over and
So-
you're underwater, the scary things.
Yeah, so that in itself is almost cosmic horror. It's existential horror.
A little bit, yeah.
And that could be really done really, really well in here, because there are points in here where you look at like the AI that's taking over isn't intelligent. I mean, it is because it's artificial intelligence, but it's not taking over because it wants to take over, because it wants power. It's taking over because it feels like it's necessary. It's just a thing that's inevitable.
Its programming.
Yeah. And that is terrifying.
Yeah.
I think, just to know that there's something that's way bigger than you that is doing that kind of proves that you're insignificant at this point, right? Like, in order to think of something that massive that actually has no intent and is still crushing everything, like that's cosmic horror. That's terror. And that mixed with the atmosphere where you're underwater and it's this giant abandoned city that's underwater. It makes sense to have this kind of cosmic horror feel in an endless ocean, you know? I mean, like, that's a really, really cool thematic tie-in. But then they do these weird scares where you're just like, okay, well, now that we're in this vast ocean and there's so much existential terror, let's put you in a tiny room and try to scare you with, like, these little things.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, yeah. I mean, like, they're scary, sure, because it's a dark room I can't see, and it's screaming at me, and it's chasing me. That's scary, sure, but...
Yeah, but it's a little surface level.
Surface level.
Yeah. And then it comes into the story where, like when you get that AI girl who is your like, companion, and you get her in your Omni tool.
Yeah.
Like, right before you get her in your Omni tool, you're in that room, and there's, like, a monster there, and she talks to you. She, like, warns you about it. She's like... I remember one time I went around, and she was like, one more hit from one of those guys, and you'll be dead. And I was like... like, she didn't... I exaggerated there, but that's what it felt like.
Yeah,
I was like, why are you saying it? Like, why is this so, like, casual? Or, like...
Very gamey.
Yeah, very gamey, very, like, letting you know, like, keep an eye on your health.
Right.
Like, and I'm like,
and there's a lot of that in here, too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that. And there's some very special things in here. I mean, do you remember getting in the subway system kind of thing?
Oh, yeah.
That was so cool.
That was cool.
Yeah.
I love that.
Where you're like, you legit have to operate a broken thing and then walk the rest of the way.
Yeah, and it breaks. Yeah, and then you have to walk the rest of the way.
That's amazing.
It is amazing.
That's like a Half-Life thing.
It is like a Half-Life thing. I think that's what keeps getting me, too, because, like, Half-Life, I keep feeling that Half-Life
there's vibes
influence.
in here, right? because it's a straight linear game.
Yeah, and the way they tell the story too and stuff.
Yeah, and the first part, I really like that it's done that removal kind of thing. Like you know how you and I were talking about Superliminal in our Games Over Coffee episode. We talked about how it would be nice to play the intro so that you're actually connected with the character first before you get to the dream state. Mm-hmm. And here,
you literally do that.
You do that.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting.
Yeah.
You know,
I loved that.
Yeah.
That was like, so far, that's probably still my favorite.
Still the favorite
like,
part,
moment
right?
of the game.
Dude,
is just that opening.
Yeah, and still probably the most terrifying part to me is going to the doctor's office.
Yeah.
You know, being in a doctor's office and seeing that they're remodeling, but because they're remodeling, it gives that sense of eeriness. And you go into the doctor's office, and then he's like, "Oh, you're here." I'm just like, "Oh my god, yeah, my mind was somewhere else." Like I thought I was gonna see zombies, you know, or something.
Yeah.
And it's like terrifying to think that your mind goes there as opposed to just actually seeing zombies there. Mm-hmm. You know, I love that it just makes you imagine that kind of stuff. That's really cool.
I think that is really cool. Yeah. And I like opening on just a plain bright day where you get time to mess with the physics and
you just like
controls.
You can move your dishes around and this was kind of cool. They had a hiding system that's programmed in that you and I figured out.
A hiding system?
Yeah. When you drink the tracer fluid.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was so strange. The tracer fluid, we found that it's like wherever you last look.
It's legit the last place you look.
Yeah. Because I found it in my desk.
Yeah.
Top drawer desk.
And mine was in the middle drawer, middle thing cabinet in the bathroom.
In the like the medicine cabinet.
In the medicine cabinet.
Yeah, that's so strange.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
Yeah.
Because I remember looking everywhere, and I was like what is going on? And everywhere, I couldn't find it.
That was another gamey thing, by the way. That was also mixed in with this amazing stuff.
Is
when he's walking around, better drink that tracer fluid.
Yeah.
No, I can't get out now. Oh, I shouldn't take a shower now. I'm like, shut up.
Why are you talking to me?
Don't talk to me.
But you're talking to yourself.
Yeah. It reminded me.
You could throw all your stuff around.
Yeah. I love all that. That's so cool. But yeah, that gamey stuff just so gets in the way, and it makes me think that it's like the same BioShock problem that you and I had, right? It was like in BioShock, there's a really cool game in there, but some of the like mechanics get in the way. Some of the ways you feel like they're just forced in there. You're just like, it feels like a AAA game that you're just like, oh, we got to sell to these people, so make sure you include that.
Yeah, like the mechanics themselves are very, very generic, mainstream first-person shooter.
You're talking about BioShock.
BioShock.
Yeah.
And but the world and the story is really, really
amazing. Yeah, and so like in here we have not mechanics, but we have what do you call it, game design elements, where you're like, are you sure people are going to understand? You better put a comment in there. Like that's what it feels like, you know. I don't know if any game designer really wanted to put him talking to himself.
Sure.
You know.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Yeah, exactly. It's motivated out of making sure the player understands what's
Exactly.
happening.
Yeah, it's like we got to make sure that they don't leave the building, and they have to understand why that's not possible. Like, and do you though?
Yeah, do you though?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, because it gets annoying, and there's and it gets in the way of really good gameplay. I mean, there was a point here. Oh, I was gonna compare this game to Gone Home, primarily because the mechanics are similar, where you're picking up stuff and rotating and looking at it. In Gone Home, I think it uses that perfectly because it tells the story that way as opposed to the person speaking. Go give him your mind, dude. Go give him the whole mind, not just a piece of it.
The whole mind?
The whole mind. Just give it to him. Yeah. In Gone Home, have you played that game?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if this felt the same to you, but it felt like a horror when I first went into the building.
Oh yeah. I was terrified.
Yeah. It's crazy. And then like the more you discover, the more you're tensing, and you're like, okay, no, okay, I'm okay. Okay, it's fine. And like to the point to where you hear thunder and lightning, you're like, okay.
Yeah.
Like the thunder and lightning making a gamer jump. That's amazing.
Yeah, that is awesome.
That's really cool. And so there's like points in that, like that in here, where you have just this really thick atmosphere, and you're just like the first part where you wake up after your brain scan, and you're just completely in an alien world, and you're just like, what? And you go and start trying to figure stuff out with just the words written on stuff. That's awesome.
That is awesome. Yeah. And I was thinking, like, I was putting it together in my head, and I was like, oh, he's like, I think they deliberately try to make you think he
time jumped or something.
Spoilers. Yeah. Time jump.
Yeah.
Or that that it's I actually went to, because you have the Fallout 4 thing where they get cryo frozen, and that's like a trope, you know. And so my mind went to like, no, this is like therapy for his brain. Dude. Right? This is like some therapist created this world in his head for him to exercise his demons.
I had the exact same thought.
Yeah,
that's so funny.
That's awesome.
Yeah, because and I thought I even discovered evidence of it, and I don't know what this game's going to turn out to be because we haven't completed it. Yeah. But I feel like that's going to be what it's going to end up as.
Yeah.
When I was walking around, I was just like, this is amazing. I feel like what it's going to be is that his because you see all these drawings on the floor and everything, and if the game design person in the head would just shut up for a bit, if he could just not say anything, what it feels like is that when you pick up those pieces of paper, that those are actual sketches from Amy, from his ex-girlfriend or girlfriend who died. Yeah. I feel like she created a world for him, not for him, but created this world that maybe like she drew comic books or something like that. This is what I just put it together in my head, and now he's just living it, and this is just part of the brain therapy session.
Yeah, the therapy. Treatment.
But the game does go out of its way to tell you that it's not something like that,
because we have that twist.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
Where you learn that he was dead.
That he died a month later.
Yeah. His brain scan.
And his brain scan became an AI.
And that's who you play as.
Yeah.
And that could be a red herring too.
It could be. I hope to find out.
Yeah. We'll have to see another day, I suppose.
When we play Psychonauts.
Yeah, when we do Psychonauts. Should we jump into a little bit here?
Sure, why not?
To see what happens. Let's see what happens. I can't see at all. Like, I have no idea where I am.
So you're just coming out of Lambda. You're trying to find the biggest space.
Yeah, I can't see anything.
Get the health. Get the power up.
That I can't get that. No way.
Your graphics look so much better than mine, dude. This game chugs so much on my PC.
Does it?
Yeah.
That sucks.
My video card's just.
Oh right. So here's this place. So I've already done this part because my game glitched out, but you have this. So look at that mechanic where I'm using my mouse right here to move it.
I love that so much.
Dude, first time I came in here, I came in and I was looking around and I was like terrified, so I was like, I gotta shut it. And I'm like shutting it. And I was like, no! And you like go, yeah, it won't shut. And I spent maybe like a few minutes just trying to make it happen. And it was just Didn't need to. Yeah.
What? What is this? Curie Emergency Vessel 4. Hey, Simon.
She
can you
looks
hear me?
like the girl who played Trinity in,
Hang on, I'll give it to you.
Yeah, she does.
The Matrix.
She's like Trinity in the Matrix. That's funny.
and also played
What's her name? What's that actress?
in Trinity's name.
The actress.
Oh yeah, I don't know. She also was in Memento.
She was. She's really good in that.
The vessel like this one inside.
Sounds like a plan.
Sounds like a plan.
Security information and update the Omni tool.
Sounds like a plan.
Should help you get around.
Just talking to myself.
Sounds like a plan.
Better grab my multi-tool.
Yeah.
Don't want to leave here without my multi-tool.
I think we're gonna come up on a pretty stupid jump scare in a second here.
I like stupid jump scares.
Yeah. Oh, what the fuck?
Oh,
What
yeah.
is this?
I love that thing. Yeah,
What
that-
are those friendly?
It's neutral.
Neutral, so
Yeah.
they just don't do anything.
Yeah, from what I've read, and this another thing I love about the game is there's in-game stuff that you can read on these things.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and one of the studies or one of the schematics,
Whoa.
it just states that it's neutral. It doesn't doesn't try to keep anything out or anything like that.
Does it like? Because
It
do you remember one that like it like followed me? There was one that was like and so they just follow you sometimes.
One of them follows you. There's one of them that tries to attack you.
Yeah.
Like it's just
The
it's just
red
what
one,
they are.
obviously. So we're gonna get a jump scare in a second here. That's really stupid.
What's the jump scare?
Yeah, here we go.
Oh, this is the when you first see the thing.
I didn't see it the first time it happened, so I'm curious what you mean.
It's
here.
like it's like the man
that dude. Yeah.
with the helmet with all the lights in it.
Yeah. There he is.
But listen to your heart, dude. It's so fast.
That was the dumbest part of the whole game for me, was that moment. Because I was like, that's just dumb. What's happening?
Yeah, so I like those types of scares where your helmet glitches and you're like, that means something bad is here. It feels like the BT thing in
Totally.
Death Stranding.
Yeah, I love the mechanic. This is a mechanic in Amnesia
Oh yeah.
also, where as an enemy approaches, gets closer to you, in this game, you get more and more glitchy.
Yeah.
The screen goes glitchier and glitchier.
Yeah.
In Amnesia, it's even more brilliant because Amnesia, they link it to your mental
Your
stability.
sanity?
Yeah,
Yeah.
your sanity.
That's interesting.
So you start hallucinating and stuff. You see
Oh, wow.
crazy shit when monsters get close to you.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, and it is really cool.
That's interesting.
So I think they actually reeled that mechanic back for
Yeah.
this game.
Yeah. I like how subtle it is.
I do too. Yeah, I like it I think it works for this game.
Yeah.
Because that is something that always kind of bothers me. And if it's a stealth game,
Yeah.
I think for stealth games, you have to have some kind of gauge of sense of knowing the things you're avoiding. Basically,
Right.
you need to be able to
Right.
have an eye on the things that don't see you.
Yeah, yeah.
And you need a way to do that, and a way to let the player know that without like being like an
Overly.
all-seeing eye.
Right,
You know,
right.
you don't want to know everything.
Well, but even so, even if you do know everything, there's ways.
In MGS1, you pretty much know everything.
Yeah, I was gonna say like
Yeah.
even in MGS1, like that's probably one of the most what do you call it, tense games that I've played. Also, and like I know where the guards are at all times, but I'm like, please don't look over here, please don't look over here. You know, those kinds of things. There was a game, man, it was a really old game, and I can't remember what it was, but where you are. Oh, do you know the game Ski Free? Oh, do you know what it is? Do you know what the whole thing about it is?
Is that? Oh wait, is that the one with the Yeti?
Yeah.
That chases you.
Yeah. So you've never played it?
I've never played it, but I know it's a meme how scary it is.
Yeah, it is a meme. So the reason why it's even it looks like the stupidest thing, right? It's just a little gray oval.
Yeah.
But what makes it terrifying is that you know where it is. It's very, very weird. You're and you can't control. The point of Ski Free is to ski as far as you can in the free version of the game, and then once you get past the part where where it's free, then they have to end the game somehow. So they have a Yeti come in and they eat you. And what's funny about it is you can outrun the Yeti, but it's very hard to. And so you see it coming, you're like shit, and like it's like it's pure engagement. It's there's nothing visual happening. Your screen isn't fucking glitching or anything. No one's screaming at you. It's you just know something's gonna end, and you're trying not to let that thing end.
Yeah.
There's a conflict there, and it feels really good. It feels really scary to do. It's one of the reasons why I love Slender Man, that game so much, is because even though it became such a huge meme, they use the same kind of camera system in here, where you're walking around, and if you look up and he's there somewhere in the background, Slender Man, then you start hearing static, and you're just like, oh, okay, I gotta turn around, because as soon as that static gets louder, then he's closer, and it's just those cues that keep bringing you in. So even if you're completely 100% aware, if it's that engagement process, that
totally, yeah,
really drives it.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. It's like very instinctual. It's like fight or flight.
It is,
basically.
yeah. It engages fight or flight, yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that the BTs got to me all the time was when the baby starts crying, you're just like, oh god damn it, like it's a baby and it's crying, so that's already stress inducing. Dude, that game, I feel like it gets stressed so well, but I think it's just because of the type of person that I am or something.
Yeah.
That's crazy game.
Let's see what's going on.
Let's see what's going on.
That's just a red light, I remember.
I think the level design in here is pretty good too, because when you see things like that, you're just like, well, let's go check it out. And
yeah.
It happens to be the thing that you need.
Totally. Yeah, I had that experience a couple times with some stuff. I was like, where am I supposed to go? And then there was one like open corridor with it was seaweed that was it was like orange amber seaweed around the entrance.
So it was contrasty.
Yeah, so it stuck out compared to the green seaweed. Which was pretty cool.
Yeah. I really like the abandoned aesthetic, all of this.
Yeah, I think I really enjoy like kind of being able to walk around the seafloor.
Yeah,
I think that's pretty sweet.
Oh yeah, that was really cool too. The first time that you use a ladder, it falls.
That's right. Yeah, that was a terrifying moment.
That was so cool to me.
That was really cool because that thing is chasing you. You know, and I remember I spent a long time hiding and like memorizing its route, and I was like, okay, I have this completely under control,
right?
And now is the perfect time for me to get on the ladder and it breaks, and it's like, ah,
yeah, throws a wrench in your plans.
That planning I did,
and it's cool because it's the first time that you see a ladder, right?
Yeah,
and so you're just like, oh, great, a ladder, I can get up here, and it's like you don't think about it could break.
Yeah, exactly.
It's amazing.
Yeah, and my first thought was like, oh, that's how I get out.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
Which is really cool.
Yeah,
fun game design.
Yeah. Fun and then yet completely annoying.
Yeah, and also kind of terrifying. This part actually tricked me out once because I was coming around the corner and I started getting that glitch.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, is there something in there? But there wasn't. And I noticed that it's open, and I think some enemy was like
it was like out there
around.
That's interesting.
So I got all messed up.
Whoa, I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, I like that heavier objects move slower when you
I like that too.
I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
this must be
I didn't even know there were objects in here. That's funny. In this part,
do you ever use the lean function very much?
I've never used it.
Never used it?
Just on accident.
Yeah, I only use it constantly. What is this? This is like a walking simulator, dude.
It's not a walking simulator.
No, it's not. No. See, it's like who cares that even happened? It's like I'm just running through. I literally can't see where I'm going, just because our whole setup here is kind of crazy.
Yeah, probably because the screen is lit,
glary.
Yeah. You might have better if you look at a program instead.
Oh wow, that actually is literally better.
We'll just look on opposite sides of the screen.
Yeah, now we're all looking wrong. That's a cool shot.
Yeah, there's a lot of really cool imagery
in
this game. A lot of really cool imagery.
I like when the music comes in here. And we get that reveal the sub up there.
Some of the music cues are so funny to me. Because I'd come across a place where it would trigger the music cue, and I'm like, oh, this is supposed to be for when there's a a reveal, but I like tripped and like went the wrong way or something. So it was like, and I'm looking at a rock, and, like nothing's happening.
That's hilarious. That is so funny. I'm running to the submarine over that's up here.
Oh right, yeah.
So I can get where I progressed to, because I got to that point and then I glitched through the floor over and over again. I think this was oh, right here is that seaweed I was talking about, actually.
Oh yeah, nice.
It's kind of amber.
That's cool.
Different look.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Clink, clink, clink.
Yeah, there's also some actual cosmic horror in here.
Really?
Later on, or existential horror, I guess. It's the same thing, cosmic and existential horror.
They are the exact same thing.
Where you're in charge of getting information out of somebody, and you keep loading them into a thing and loading their intelligence, and talking to them,
Mm-hmm.
and it feels weird because you keep doing it, and they're a real person, and they keep saying the same things, and it's so strange because they're not a program. It's a real person. So it's cool. It's a cool terror thing.
Yeah, because it makes death meaningless.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, don't worry about that you're killing him over and over again.
Look at that big door.
That is a big ass door. Big ass door.
Big ass door.
Great.
Oh, that was the other thing that brought me out of the game. Not
Okay, this is where I glitched through the floor.
this. I think one of the reasons why I keep getting brought out of the horror, is because the game isn't about hiding from things. Not like Outlast or Amnesia, right?
Mm-hmm.
This game is about you're doing something else, not just hiding. Hiding is like a tactic.
Exactly.
And that gets in the way for me. I'm like,
Yeah.
I want to go. Why can't I just go? I just want to go.
Yeah.
Why do I have to hide now?
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah.
It is like a conflicting... I think that's where that dissonance comes from.
Yeah.
That's the
yeah.
conflict.
That's the
Yeah.
That's the very core of it right there.
Where it's like, it's a horror game,
Yeah.
but it's also an adventure game.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
also
right, because
linear.
you're traipsing everywhere.
Yeah.
That's like the Half-Life 2 stuff.
Right.
That it's definitely influenced by. Like, really feels good.
Yeah.
Feels great even. And then there's stuff in here that is horror without being jump scares.
Yeah.
And you can just. I feel like they had a missed opportunity there.
Yeah.
And
speaking, and a game could be horror. Well, I keep thinking about Ravenholm in Half-Life 2.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's the horror sequence of the
Right.
game.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And
And
that
that
doesn't
works.
have jump scares.
And, like that's an amazing sequence.
Yeah, that is amazing. Yeah, that was a terrifying gameplay for me, and it's not a terrifying game. Like
That's just a one section that's
Yeah.
like that.
yeah, and it's just like where you're just playing it. You're just like, okay, just got to get through this.
Exactly. But that's what you're supposed to do too.
Right.
The whole
Right.
objective of that is to get through it.
Is to get through it.
Yeah.
yeah, to subject yourself to it.
Yeah.
yeah, and like you said, this has a conflict there, and I think that was one of the reasons why I was just like, okay, listen, this horror part, I'm not gonna pay attention to it anymore, because if I don't have any weapons to oh, you know what's interesting? Fear. In Fear, you can shoot the monsters, right? Or there's shit. I don't remember. See, it's such an old game. I don't remember. But
it's an FPS. Yeah.
yeah, but it's a first-person shooter. Yeah, you have weapons and you can use them. It makes you feel powerful. And in that, there's still scares that go along with it. But it makes sense in its context. It's not just like even if you had weapons in this game and they were ineffective against the monster, that would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like that better than just, okay, you don't have any weapons and the monster's after you. What are you gonna do? Like, well, obviously I'm gonna hide, but
I wish the whole game was about that mechanic.
yeah, that's what. Oh man, that is what I loved so much about Death Stranding. Was that you don't have weapons against these things, and then you start to,
Yeah.
a little bit by little bit, and you start to feel powerful, but yet it's still horrifying.
Yeah.
And I love that so much.
It is cool. Yeah. I think from what I know, the first Amnesia, they're more focused on the horror
Yeah.
stuff, and
Yeah.
like there is a story there too.
Yeah.
But there doesn't seem to be this kind of dissonance.
Yeah, it's like they tried to meld these two things together and just didn't really know how.
Yeah, I think they wanted to tell more of a story here.
Yeah, I think they succeeded because they
In
are
that respect.
definitely telling a lot more of a story.
Yeah.
But the horror does get in the way.
Yeah, and the horror feels a little bit more like, I guess, surface level
Yeah,
compared to what I know of Amnesia,
right.
and that's unfortunate.
That is unfortunate. Oh, barnacles.
Barnacles. Give me the sub.
I love the part where he's like, I have a flashlight?
Oh, jeez.
Is that a thing?
I think so.
Oh man, you're just totally coward.
Yep, that's what I do every single. This is the whole game for me. Is this? Where'd it go?
There's nothing
I
in
don't
there.
like this.
Go do it. Just go over there.
I can't.
Just go over there.
I can't do that, D.
Oh yeah, I know where you are.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
I don't like this.
Yeah, this is a little labyrinth too.
I don't like this. I don't like that. Go away. You're not welcome here.
You gotta be quiet, man.
You're not welcome
you're
here.
making too much noise.
I'm out here, dude. I'm going back to the ocean. God, I'll just sit here.
You just open it. He's right there.
Yeah, dude. It's gonna be. Good little peek. Little peek.
You're making noise. He's gonna come over. You make
No,
noise.
he won't hear that. Why? No, he did hear that. Okay.
You know what's funny? I do the same thing. I shut off my flashlight.
Does it make a difference?
I don't know. I
don't
do the
know
same thing
either.
though.
I think it does make a difference because it did in Amnesia.
Game
Okay.
history.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like, never mind.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Is that pants? What the? Oh,
Got some pants.
I saw some glitches happen. Oh. I need a hiding spot.
Yeah, when I was here, I kept trying to close doors on it.
Oh, yeah. Fuck. Damn it. I'm dead. It's all over. Get me. Get me! I want you to do it. I want you to hit me.
Hit me. Hit me. Man, I love when you come back from
From the
a
dead?
death.
Let's see.
That is the coolest thing. When your vision's all like wobbly and you can't walk right.
Oh, yeah. And your
Like,
health is all
yeah,
fucked.
I really like that.
Yeah, I think that is cool. Hey, bro. Let's chill. It's all good, man. He's not scary anymore.
Just don't look in.
Yeah, I'm just
But
kinda
what
like-
I did was I would just stare at the floor.
Really?
And I would just walk. Yeah.
should walk back.
And it seemed to help, but I don't know. Might as well have just turned off my flashlight, right?
For me, it's like when I die, once I get killed by a monster a couple times.
It feels less intimidating.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like all that kind of goes away. And it's like, oh, there are no real world consequences.
That's kind of how I felt. Yeah.
whoa.
and-
Holy shit.
Have you never died before?
No, I
Oh,
guess
well,
not.
There you go. That's
Yeah.
death.
That was crazy. You died.
Yeah. I think what makes fear so much more engaging, at least in my mind, is that you have weapons, and if they're ineffective, then you're stupid if you keep trying it. You know.
Right.
And like in here, if you keep getting hit by the monster, it's not necessarily. It could be your fault, but it's not something that you're consciously trying to do.
Yeah, it's not really. It doesn't really matter. Like, it's not about that.
Right.
Yeah. It's weird.
Yeah. So we haven't completed the game.
No, we haven't. So I don't know if we ever will.
I don't really want to do a full GOC episode on
Not
this.
really. Me neither. Honestly. Like, I'm semi interested, but like,
Yeah.
there's other games I want to play.
That's kind of me too. Yeah. I do still want to see where the story goes, though, so I might finish it someday.
Yeah.
Someday.
It's not like it's a super long game.
And it's not that super interesting either. Ooh.
Yeah, that's the other side. I'd rather play Amnesia, I think.
Yeah.
I'd be interested.
Amnesia would freak me out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Amnesia would be a lot scarier, I think. But yeah, I think that about wraps it up, don't you think?
We're wrapping up light roast. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And you didn't drink your coffee, dude.
Yeah, I got kind of tired of it. I kind of wanted a.
There's like a strange dissonance here in my coffee.
You're drinking some dissonance.
Yeah, it's just like, there's water, there's ice, and then it melts.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like, why'd you put ice in it at all?
It's
And
hella
like,
dissonant.
like there's other coffees out there that are just straight coffee.
Yeah,
just,
dude.
just do coffee.
Yeah, and there's milk, and that's really dissonant. Like, how does milk and coffee go together?
This metaphor's not working.
This metaphor is not working. Thank you for watching Light Roast. We do this.
Who are you talking to?
Please subscribe.
Please
Subscribe.
Yeah, we'll do Hyper Light Drifter, I think, next.
Yeah, I believe. Yeah, we'll probably do.
K-Bear said that.
Yeah, it's my good friend Carson. Okay,
Neat.
thank you.
Bye.
Here we go. Okay. No.
Now that's existential right there.
This is
that's
existential.
horrifying.
This is the scariest part of the whole game right
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Oh.
That'd be pretty amazing if there was a game that did that.
That did that.
Yeah.
That would be kind of cool. I'll save and exit.